Hey trainers, we just received a brand new incense in Pokemon Go, and this special item has a very unique spawn pool, including Archon, Zuelos, and legendaries? Yeah, that's right. You can encounter the 3 Galarian birds via this special incense, though unfortunately, they all have a pretty abysmal catch rate. But if you do manage to catch one, you might be wondering just how viable are they in battle? Well, join us for today's Pokemon analysis and find out. Welcome back, trainers. So it's been almost 2 years since the Galarian Forms of the Kanto Legendary Birds made their debut in Sword and Shield, and after a lot of speculation, these 3 birds have finally made their way to Pokemon Go. Each of these Pokemon ditched their elemental typing and replaced it with something brand new. Additionally, each bird has different stats to their Kantonian counterparts, so that'll definitely be a factor in their viability as well. But obviously, it's the moves that can often make or break a Pokemon. So let's see what each of these birds got, starting with Galarian Articuno. This Psychic and Flying type Pokemon has a pretty interesting moveset, including Psycho Cut and Confusion for fast moves, along with Brave Bird, Ancient Power, and Future Sight for charged moves. Now all 3 birds have access to both Brave Bird and Ancient Power, so I'll only mention the other 2's unique move. As for its stats though, Galarian Articuno sports 58 more attack than its Kantonian form, although this does in turn make it have frailer defenses. But sadly, because Galarian Articuno is a Psychic Glass Cannon, it's pretty hard for it to compete with the ever-dominant Mewtwo as a Psychic attacker. And because it doesn't have access to Psychic means it can't even compete with Espeon or Alakazam either. As for its secondary type, it did have the potential to be a really good flying attacker, but with its current moveset, it's not going to make it far off the ground. If it received Air Slash or Gust paired with Fly, it could overthrow Sky Attack Moltres as the best non-Shadow and non-Mega flying attacker. But as of now, Articuno won't be soaring anytime soon. So it may not be a good raid attacker, but what about PvP? The fact that it's frailer than its Kanto counterpart doesn't help it, but its moveset is a little wonky as well. Brave Bird and Future Sight are both great moves for PvP, but both cost a lot of energy. Psycho Cut will certainly help charge them faster, but oftentimes it won't get to either of those charged moves more than once. Ancient Power could be good for baiting and potential stat boosting, but if they don't shield, you're in trouble. So while it could get some niche use, I don't think Galarian Articuno will be much use. Up next, we have the bird with legs, Galarian Zapdos. This flying and fighting type Pokemon makes its debut before Hawlucha, but will it be any good? If you want my opinion, I'd say it's pretty likely. On the rating side of things, it's got very solid stats. Plus, it has access to the amazing fast move Counter. Where it fumbles a bit though is with its charged move, Close Combat. This 1-bar charged move isn't that great as it brings the Pokemon's damage output down. But even with this slow charged move, it can still put in the work. It's got slightly worse DPS than Machamp, but its extra bulk generally makes it on par with it. It'll excel against specific raid bosses like the Regis with Focus Blast. Now onto the PvP side, Galarian Zapdos would likely run the double debuff moveset of Brave Bird and Close Combat along with Counter. This is a bit risky for sure, but it would definitely be an excellent Pokemon to save for the closer after your opponent's shields are down. You can also use Ancient Power for baiting, but this move does hurt you a lot more if they don't shield. But whichever moveset you run, in the Master League specifically, Galarian Zapdos is going to be a new key player. Finally, we come to the dark and flying type Galarian Moltres. This version of Moltres is far bulkier than the original, but it does have less attack. So in terms of raids, it's not really useful as an attacker. On the PvP side though, can it stack up to either of the other dark flying types? Unfortunately, not so much. Galarian Moltres has potential to be a solid Ultra League Pokemon, but its moves hinder it. Besides the mediocre Ancient Power, Payback and Brave Bird are great moves. The issue is that they're expensive, just like Articuno's, but where Articuno could at least charge them faster with Psycho Cut, Moltres is stuck with Wing Attack and Sucker Punch, 2 moves with the same stats, and while those stats aren't bad, they're not enough to charge up these expensive charged moves several times. 2 things could really help Galarian Moltres. At the very least, Snarl could have helped it charge those expensive moves faster, but also, a dark move that's cheaper than Payback could really let it stand out and do more consistent damage. My vote would be for Foul Play, a decently powerful 45 energy move. Now, all of these Galarian birds have their shortcomings, mainly with their good moves being more expensive. However, all three learned signature moves in the main series, so there's a chance that farther in the future we could see Freezing Glare on Articuno, Thunderous Kick on Zapdos, and Fiery Wrath on Moltres. Each of these moves could absolutely fix some of their shortcomings, but currently as it stands, the Galarian birds are a bit of a mixed bag in terms of usefulness. I'd say Zapdos is the only one who's really viable out the gate, but that doesn't mean the other two are completely useless, as they're both full of potential. Perhaps we'll cover all three of them in a future Perfecting Pokemon entry. But what do you think? Are you excited for these Galarian birds? And have you found any on your Daily Incense yet? I found one, but yeah. But here's to hoping you all have better luck than me. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Next week, we'll be covering the Electric-type Ultra Beast Xurkitree. But until next time, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.